Is Samsung planning something big without the big price tag? It looks like the next fan edition phone, the Galaxy S25 FE, is already on the table. A new leak suggests Samsung has started building the firmware for it. For those wondering, firmware is the software that controls everything your phone does, and its development usually kicks off a few months before the official launch. The US model number appears to be SM-S731U, and the first version of the firmware is listed as S731SQU-U0AYDH. Based on this, the release could happen late this year or in early 2026, right in line with the usual fan edition schedule. What makes this early news more interesting is the software. The S25 FE might arrive with Android 16 and Samsung's new interface, One UI 8.0, right out of the box. That's great news for anyone who wants the latest updates from day one. And if Samsung keeps its current software promise, the phone could get up to 7 years of major Android updates. That kind of long-term support is something you don't see often in mid-range phones. Now, if you're new to the Fan Edition lineup, here's a quick catch-up. It started with the Galaxy S20 Fan Edition, a hit for Samsung. It gave users a lot of what the flagship models offered, but at a lower price. Since then, we've seen the S21 FE, S23 FE, and most recently, the S24 FE. Samsung skipped a generation in between, but the core idea never changed. Deliver solid performance and key features at a more affordable cost. So, what's coming with the S25 FE? According to leaks, Samsung might reuse the Exynos 2400E chip, the same one used in the S24 FE. That could be a letdown for those hoping for a Snapdragon or something new. But from Samsung's point of view, it makes sense. Fan edition phones are built to offer value, and using existing hardware helps keep the price lower. Even so, the chip is still capable enough for everyday tasks, gaming, and multitasking. Memory and storage are also getting a bump. The S25 FE might come with either 8GB or 12GB of RAM, and it could start with 256GB of storage. That gives plenty of room for apps, videos, and photos. On the camera side, leaks say the front camera could get a new 12-megapixel sensor, which might lead to clearer selfies and better video quality. The rear camera setup might remain the same: a 50-megapixel main lens, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens, and an 8-megapixel telephoto lens. Not a major upgrade, but still a solid setup for most users. Battery details are still unclear, but don't expect a huge increase in size. Samsung might slightly tweak the design to make the phone slimmer while keeping the battery capacity similar to the S24 FE. For charging, it'll likely support either 25-watt or 45-watt wired charging and 15-watt wireless charging. Other expected features include stereo speakers, an under-display fingerprint scanner, and an IP67 rating, which helps protect against dust and water. In the end, the Galaxy S25 FE looks like it'll stay true to the Fan Edition promise, bringing useful features, a clean design, long-term software updates, and reliable performance, all without the high price. The return of the Exynos chip may not please everyone, especially in markets that prefer Snapdragon, but it could still be a smart move for balancing cost and capability. So, what do you think? Would the Exynos chip change your mind about buying the S25 FE, or does the overall package still make it a phone worth watching? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this update, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more news on upcoming devices and tech leaks.
What if we told you Samsung's next foldables are already in production and will hit stores sooner than you think? Yes, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Galaxy Z Flip 7 have officially entered the production phase. According to new reports, Samsung has managed to stay right on schedule, the manufacturing beginning in late April as originally planned. That means we're now one step closer to seeing these two highly anticipated foldable phones on shelves. But there's a catch. Even though Samsung hit its timeline, it's making fewer units this year. The company has lowered its production targets quite a bit. For the Galaxy Z Flip 7, Samsung is only planning to produce 3 million units. The Fold 7 will be even more limited, with just 2 million units expected to be made. That's a 40% drop compared to the previous generation. Why such a big cut? While the overall foldable phone market hasn't grown as fast as expected, despite all the attention, many buyers still prefer traditional phones. So Samsung is adjusting its expectations to avoid overstocking. The good news is that even with fewer units, the company seems focused on making this year's models more refined. Alongside the phones, official accessories for both the Fold 7 and Flip 7 are also now in production. That includes cases and other essentials that will likely be ready for launch day. But wait, Samsung might not be done with just two foldables this year. There are strong hints that a tri-fold Galaxy device is also coming later in 2025. However, only around 200,000 units are planned for that one. The reason? It's expected to be very expensive, and Samsung doesn't think it'll sell in large numbers. So for now, the Z Fold 7 and Flip 7 will remain the focus. So what's inside these phones? The Galaxy Z Fold 7 will almost certainly use the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, the same one found in the Galaxy S25 series. That gives it top-tier performance right out of the box. But the Z Flip 7's processor is still a bit of a mystery. Some test models have been spotted using Samsung's own Exynos 2500 chip, but word is the chip might not be ready in time. If that's true, then Samsung could go with Snapdragon again for the Flip 7 as well. Either way, both models are likely to offer solid performance for their category. There were also some wild rumors claiming that the Fold 7 would be even thinner than the Oppo Find N5, which folds down to just 8.2 millimeters. But realistically, that's not going to happen this year. The Fold 7 might be slimmer than before, but not that slim. Interestingly, all this comes just as Apple prepares its own foldable iPhone, which may launch in 2027 to mark the iPhone's 20th anniversary. That gives Samsung a big head start to perfect its design and win over more foldable users before Apple joins the competition. And while Samsung seems to be on track with its launches, the same can't be said for everyone else. Rumors say Apple is facing supply chain issues that might affect iPhone 17 production, especially when it comes to giving every model 12 GBs of RAM. Meanwhile, Samsung's ability to start mass production on time puts it in a strong position for its summer release window.
Is Samsung already fixing what went wrong with One UI 7, just in time for the Galaxy Z Flip 7? One UI 7 took its time getting to users, and even then, it came with a fair share of bugs, confusion, and delays. But now, it looks like Samsung doesn't want to repeat those same mistakes with One UI 8. And if a new leak is anything to go by, they've already started testing smoother animations and smarter use of the cover screen, especially for flip phones. According to a post by ex-user Gamer, Omega One UI 8 is already showing early signs of improvement. One small but noticeable change is how app animations behave when you close multiple apps quickly. On One UI 7, if you shut down one app and then another right after, the first animation just freezes. It's a tiny thing, but it feels a bit rough when you notice it. With One UI 8, Samsung is fixing that. The closing animations continue naturally, even when you're quickly jumping between tasks. Again, this isn't a major change, but these small tweaks really do help make the experience smoother. It's one of those details that most people won't talk about, but everyone can feel. But here's the part Flip users should be excited about: the Now bar. If you've never heard of it, the Now bar is a feature that shows you important info at a glance, like current music, weather, or quick settings. But strangely, on the Galaxy Z Flip 6, it was only available on the inner screen. That's kind of a missed opportunity, right? After all, flip phones are all about the cover display. Why force users to open the phone to use a feature that's meant to be quick? Well, One UI 8 may fix that. According to leaks, Samsung is finally bringing the Now bar to the cover screen, and it could make its first appearance on the upcoming Galaxy Z Flip 7. That means you'll be able to access app controls and info without even opening your phone. Just glance, tap, and move on. It's a small fix, but one that could really improve the daily experience. There's even talk that One UI 8 could ship with the Galaxy Z Flip 7 and Z Fold 7 right out of the box. That would be a big win for Samsung, especially after the rocky rollout of One UI 7. These two foldables are rumored to launch during a big Unpacked event in July, although Samsung hasn't confirmed the exact date just yet. As for what else to expect, the Galaxy Z Flip 7 could get a slightly larger cover display, a Samsung-made Exynos 2500 processor, and maybe even a larger battery. The charging speed, though, is expected to stay the same. On the other hand, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 might be powered by the new Snapdragon 8 Elite processor,